Hello, this is a follow-up video to my another video about the saving system breakdown. This is just a basic first-person shooter sample project with some things added. There's two maps. There's this first one and then the second one, and you can transition between them using these actors that I have here, just with like a lighting effect in them. So yeah, you can already see that if I shoot at these things and then save, and even if I run the game again and load, they should start from the previous positions that they were when I saved. And then also if I transition to another level, and now I'm here, and I can even shoot stuff here, and if I go back to the previous level, then the props should still be in the same positions as before. And similarly, if I go here again, then these props that I moved around here have moved again. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the actual game. Then we can look a little bit about the game code. First, there's the character where I had to add these interface, and I implemented these functions. This one, like if you want to block saving, if you're doing animation, you can set this boolean to true. If you don't want to save the character anymore, if they have ragdoll, you can set this to false. This one should almost always return true, so I haven't attached a boolean to it. For the rotation of the camera, I added this one value, save it look rotation. I don't do this in my own project, but just because the first person camera uses the control rotation from the controller, I saved it this way because the control rotation has not been flagged with the save game flag. Then on the actual project files, I did have to do some stuff, like game instance is based on the save game instance. I don't think there's much that I have actually done here, except of course in the project files I have replaced game instance with that one. So you can see this one, and game mode. Default game mode is my the custom game mode, which can be found from here, and it is just so that it will override the game state, controller, and then the first person. The controller is the most important one to implement. I also did this kind of thing where when it initializes the game state, it will try to initialize the play controller. Similarly, the first person character also does the same thing. It calls this interface to initialize the player controller, and then the player controller does the same thing. And this is because between like editor and package game, there can sometimes be weird cases where the actors spawn in different order than in the editor. So this kind of checks if the initialization has not started yet, then it will check if these actors are already there, and it makes sure that they are already there before it starts to actually initialize the system. Here I also disable the player movement or the player input, and here if the player is trying to load a save or is changing levels, then the save game instance will handle the restoration here, and also if I will also then create the loading widget. This one will also call trigger this event even if it doesn't load, even if it doesn't start loading anything. So it will always go here Then I need to clear this one in case I have previously assigned something already here, so that you won't have like old garbage collected player controllers still binded to this event. So this is important to do. Then I set this boolean is fully initialized to true. This is kind of important to set as fast first and then set to true for stuff like the level changes. I will show that later. Enable input, and then I disable the loading screen. So yeah, this function handles the restoration pretty much automatically. For the level change stuff, here are the two functions I did. No, actually, there's three stuff. So first, there's just checking if this is the correct position tag. So I have this variable position tag that you can set, and you set it here. You set the level you want to go to, and then the position tag you want to go to. So these have like a different position tag. So when you're coming into this level, it checks if this is the position where we want to spawn to, and then when we do want to spawn to this position, we just set the player location. I could also set the camera rotation to match here, but instead I decided to keep the previous rotation that you had. And finally, when you start overlapping this trigger, I check if it's a player character first, and then I check from the player controller if it's fully initialized. And if you don't do this, then you might end up in a situation where when the player is restored and teleported to this position here, then you would automatically trigger this event again, this on component begin overlap event, and you would immediately, while you're still restoring, start changing the levels again. But since I'm teleporting the character to this position, while that there is fully initialized boolean is still false, it will come here, but it won't go to this point. And at this point I can, but if I'm during the runtime when it's fully initialized, I come here, it just changes the level. And this one is just pointed to the level. You could also, I could technically use also level names here instead of like soft object pointers to the level, but I find this is better because you don't make accidental mistakes with the level names. Yeah, that's about it. Uh, I do have, oh yeah, these props are also based on this class that I have here. That's like just a simple base class that you can easily use if you want to base your items or physics props on something else. You can. I just added this one that it would be easy to like add new physics props as a test. Similarly, I also edited this one to use the same class. So this item that you can pick up from the sample project, the Unreal base projects, I changed this to also use this simple saved actor as a base, so that I can mark it to be saved, and it should delete when the game restores. Yeah, that's about it. I could also show what happens if I so respawn on level chain. So that means then if I run the game and I do this, and now if I save, they will be in those positions. They will keep on those positions where they have moved around, But now if I go here, and then I go back, they are back in their original positions that they were in before I started the game. Now again, if I save, they will stay in their positions, but then they respawn if I go to another level and come back. So in my own project, this is what I do with the explosive barrels. But you can again disable this behavior if you don't want them to reset every time you change the level by just checking this, or in the function of a actor, you just um, set false here every time, or set true here every time, depending what you want to do. So yeah, that's about it for the sample project. Hope it's useful for some people.